as compared to right below that, you see a monthly max of, I think, 95 people. So we're pretty early in the month, relatively low number for Fred's site. It may even go up and above that over the course of this presentation. What you also see is the number of new visitors versus returning visitors. 16 new people visiting the site today that go to ABC for the first time, versus 28 who are returning, people who've been to the site before. And then below that, we actually get a breakdown of who's reading, who's writing, meaning leaving a comment on the site, and then people who may be idle, meaning they're not doing much, but they may have a page open. If we move over to the right here, you can actually see this at a page level. Page density actually reflects the top 50 pages on ABC. The size of the box that you're looking at corresponds to the number of people that are on that particular web page. And what you also see is that there's a scroll heat map, which shows you where people are on the page. If they're at the top, in all likelihood, they just started reading. If they're at the bottom, they may in fact be leaving a comment on the site. And again, you can see a breakdown of people who are reading, writing, and people who are idle. Now, scrolling down, we can also take a look at geolocations, meaning where in the world people are coming from when they visit ABC. So this is actually a map, or obviously a map of the globe, but then I can zoom into the United States or any other country for that matter. And what you see also, I can even zoom down to the state level, but if I put my mouse over each individual dot on the map, you can see the page that that user happens to be on ABC. And if I click on that, it'll actually be taken to that page within the website. I can also see visit length, how long people have been on the site. And then below that, we can actually see where people are coming from. And you'll notice that this is actually updating in real time. As people visit ABC, we see where it is that they're coming from, and then below that, the referrer details as well. We also see raw hits here, meaning individual pages that people are coming into ABC from, or if they're going from page to page within Fred's website. And then below that, we have some conversation monitoring. This is actually monitoring Twitter activity right now. The 3 tweets that you're looking at actually include one of 3 keywords you see here that we're tracking. And below that, there are links to ABC, meaning things people may have Twittered, didn't use one of those keywords, but still have a link back to Fred's site. Now, the interesting thing is that everybody I've showed this to has basically said that they could spend all day looking at this, and while I agree, I don't know that that's terribly realistic for any of us. So what Chartbeat allows you to do is actually add alerts, where you can monitor your traffic or the responsiveness of your website. And then you can actually have emails sent to you in the event that you exceed a certain number of visitors, your site is taking a certain amount of time to load, things of that nature. You can also have text messages sent to you at the same time. So this is all real-time information. And again, the alerts are very helpful in that regard, but sometimes you may actually miss out on something, or you may want to look at something in a little bit more detail. And so Chartbeat also gives you the opportunity to look into history in terms of what was going on your website. You can see here we have total people on the site today, and then for the last 7 days and last 30 days. And in the event that we see a spike in traffic, we can actually highlight that area, zoom in a little bit more closely along the last 7 days chart right now, and see what may have been happening. Not only that, if I double click on that, we're actually seeing a replay, not real time, but what happened at that moment in time that caused that spike in traffic. You'll notice at the top of the page, this is March 31st, 11:25. This goes in 5-minute intervals. And you can actually see what it was that may have caused some unusual activity on your website. Moving back to the historical tab, we also see page load time. So oftentimes you may see that a page is loading quite well for an individual user, but there may be an issue on the server side or vice versa, where the server is working okay, but it's taking quite a bit of time for pages to load. And anybody who's been to Fred's site knows that he loves his bling. He's got all kinds of widgets and gadgets all over it. So you can see it actually does take quite a bit of time for certain pages to load on Fred's site. And again, this stuff can all be customized. You can take a look at what it is you want to see versus what you don't. And Chartbeat makes it very easy to do that. Again, there's a reading, writing idle tab. And then you can do the same thing with Twitter history that I showed you earlier in terms of a replay. If in fact there was a spike in terms of Twitter activity and a lot of mentions, you can look into the history to see what it was that may have been happening in that area. So the last thing I want to show you is, as powerful as the interface is on its own, there's also a variety of site widgets that you can put on your website. All the information that I've shown you is available through an API, so if you have the means to mash it up and display it in a way that makes sense for you, then you're certainly able to go ahead and do that. But Chartbeat's also come up with a variety of canned widgets that you see here. Recent visitors widget, refer widget, handful of other things. And if we go to Fred's site, you can actually see the most popular pages on ABC. Fred's grabbed a widget from Sharpie. He's actually customized it so it matches the look and feel of his website. But again, this gives you a good sense of what this might look like on a web page. So that's it for the demo. I would definitely encourage everybody to take a look at Sharpie when you have some time. We actually have just a couple of other slides that I want to show just because we have a URL. There we go. That you can visit. So Sharpie, again, hopefully you get a sense of what the power is. I think this is a great business and a great product for the times, not just because it shows you real-time information and what's going on your website, but because it's really easy to install, one line of code that takes a matter of minutes. Beyond that, it's $9.95 a month. Sharpie will also give you a 30-day free trial. And in the spirit of real-time, here is a bit.ly link to a web page that will actually show you Fred's traffic on ABC in real time. You can continue to look at that even after the presentation. So thanks everybody here. Thanks to BetaWorks and Sharpie for building a killer product. Billy Chasen in particular, who's out in the audience somewhere, who's the guy who actually developed this. And thanks to Fred for letting us show traffic to his website. So I hope you check it out. Thanks very much.